Hey guys, welcome to another video. So guys, have you heard directly from the presidential candidate of Labour Party what exactly he's going to do for the people of Nigeria if he's been elected as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? So I want us to watch this video together, hear from him what he's going to do for you, and be ready to vote for him. Let's watch the video together.
Welcome to NorTV's Global Politics Horizon. The first question is, assuming that you are elected, let's look forward to day one. You've been sworn in and you've just closed the door to your presidential office. You're sitting down and adjusted your seat to your liking and you grab the presidential pen. What are the top priorities that you tackle for day one?
Well, that's interesting. Thank you for assuming that I'm going to be elected. And what do I do from day one? And thank you sincerely for inviting me and for this opportunity. For me, from day one, I'll go straight to tackling the issue of insecurity. It's the number one priority, insecurity. But we beset with a lot of other problems which needs to be tackled simultaneously. But on top of that list is insecurity.
So I also want to jump into another question here, and I want to make sure I get this exactly right, so pardon my glance down, but President Biden here in the U.S. approval rating has recently surged as he has made good on several campaign promises, such as relating to climate change, as well as student loan forgiveness. In the name of transparency, what promises should the public hold you accountable for against the next 4 years if they were to want to vote for you for re-election?
Now you're talking about 4 years, so it's not day one.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that everything I promise is tackled simultaneously.
Okay.
And the promise is that, again, is insecurity, dealing with the issue of rule of law and order, since the government, bring stability in the polity, uniting the country, ensuring that there's a transparent and visible good governance, fighting areas of corruption, which will be visible and transparent, and people will see it. Cutting the cost of governance, investing in human capital development, and ensuring that critical areas of infrastructure, like power, is seen to be tackled.
Okay.
And this, I've said, people will see, whatever we're doing will be visible, it'll be measurable, people can see it.
And I think that's very important for it to be visible and measurable. So that's something that we can look forward to. So thank you. That's great to know.
Given the numerous challenges that Nigeria faces, corruption, like you mentioned, a lack of stable electricity, lack of job growth, etc., what message would you have for those who have already just simply given up?
Well, like it's happened in every other nation, what we're going through now have happened in other nations. What it requires is just leadership. If we have a competent leadership with character and capacity, you start trying to pull the country out of all this. There's nothing difficult in saying, hey, today we're generating 4,000 megawatts of electricity, that we're going to move it in 4 years, in 5 years, from 4,000 to at least 10,000. It was a rocket science. We'll do it, people will see it, people will feel it. We're going to deal with the issue of corruption. It's something that is, as I preach it every day. If the leader is not corrupt, his family and those around him are not, you really see by 70%. And whoever is doing it knows that he's going to face the law. So if you're caught in it, no question, nobody's above the law. And you start doing this. You see, when you start doing the right things, issue of what is even mentioned, job creation, if you tackle the intangible assets of insecurity, which is number one, deal with the issue of rule of law, law and order, invest in human capital development, you're going to start attracting people to come and invest local first, your diaspora, then foreigners.
So also, anytime the question is asked, essentially, everyone always affirms that they believe in a more inclusive government. However, we've seen time and time again, whether it has to do with gender, ethnic group, physical ability, that action isn't necessarily taken. In your, if you were to be elected, what specific pledges can we hold you accountable for regarding to this subject?
What it means inclusiveness, for me, it is about, I said it before, about competence and capability. As governor of the state, of one of the states in Nigeria, I had, for example, more women working for me than men.
Okay.
Because they were competent.
Right.
So it's not a question of, it's not something that you're entitled to.
Right.
You know, it's not an entitlement.
Right.
It is the question of, are you qualified?
Absolutely.
You know, we have to be qualified to work, because I need to engage and work with people who are qualified, who are competent, who have the capacity to do the job they're given.
It's almost an exclusive consumption economy, and it's important to transition to production. And what specific industries would you be focusing on for that?
That's what I've always preached, and I want to move the country from consumption to production. And when you talk about production, it is a whole vast thing. You start from, and I give you an example of what I'm saying. If you go to Nigeria, Nigeria has vast land, vast or cultivated land. It's a country that today is sitting on 923,000 square kilometers of land. Fertile land in most places and everything. So you need to move it. You need to get people to go back to the farm. Again, security issues in some of the farms. You need to deal with the security issues to get those who have left their farmland to go back, and you need to have a development bank like agricultural bank to support more production in that sector so that they can feed themselves, Nigeria can feed itself, and export agricultural products, which is very critical to us. We need our greatest assets, when I mean assets in terms of physical assets today, is the land we have. You know, so we have vast land, physical assets, which we can invest in, not oil. The land can give, if we manage it more effectively, it can give us more money than oil. But today we're dependent on oil. I mean, if oil had not saved Venezuela, we have 10 times more oil reserve than we have. It won't save us. And oil is a diminishing asset. Even in America, yeah. Texas is not the biggest state, it's California. Yep. We talk about two things: land, agriculture, and knowledge. And the same thing for us. We can drive this through process. We can drive agriculture, we can drive knowledge. That's what's of production. As I said, I will invest in agriculture, I will invest in knowledge. Again, the more you generate, transmit, and distribute more power, the more people go into manufacturing of finished goods. So these are specific areas that will help to create jobs, to everything, and that's what we need to do.
Okay, so it sounds like subsistence farming and self-sustaining first, and then.
Of course, no. We're going. No, it's not just subsistence. we're going to go into manufacturing as well, but we have to start at the base. You have to first have the agricultural product before you talk about manufacturing. So we're going to run everything simple, but we must be productive. It's a country of 200 million people. Like I said, we have vast land, we have the population, and we have youthful population that are very energetic, and I can tell you, have the capacity to change the world.
And so you did mention the youth, but brain drain is an enormous problem that Nigeria is facing right now. Many Nigerians abroad, including myself, dream of coming back home to build a home, to invest into Nigeria, to work in Nigeria, and contribute to it. However, many of us may be particularly scared due to the increasing violence that is partaking in the country. What is your action plan to fight against domestic terrorism in Nigeria?
I'm not worried about brain drain. There will be brain gain. Because they're going to come back. When we fix the place, you'll be the first investors who will tell the world that we're going well now.
Right.
Because same thing has happened everywhere in the world. It is those who left Asian countries that went back and turned it around. So you are going to come back and turn it around. When we bring stability, secure the place, ensure that we entreat rule of law and order, you'll come back. So it's a gain for us.
Right.
You know, it might be a loss now because you've gone, seen. So dealing with the issue of terrorism, what I said, when we deal with security, we will deal with it aggressively. I might not tell you, disclose exactly what we're going to do.
Of course.
But some of the measures we're going to do is that we're going to increase the manpower within our security agencies, equip them properly.
Right.
You know, support them with the political will to deal with the issues decisively. Have a multi-sectoral policing where we have police at the center, policing at the state, possibly at the local government, and even in the communities where we have security. Deal with it aggressively. Right. It's not, like I said, it's been done everywhere, and we can do it.
Absolutely.
Are there any misconceptions about your presidency and candidate run that you would like to address at this moment?
Well, I don't think there is, except maybe people will say we don't have structures, you know, but for me, that is what we want to destroy. We want to dismantle the structure because the structures that are there today are structure of criminality, structure of corruption, structure of inefficiency, structure of ineffectiveness. These are things we want to remove and bring in a movement that wants to take back the country, give it to the people, great Nigerians that will have faith in their country because they hope like her.
It is no secret right now that in Nigeria currently spends more than it earns. So that is a huge problem that the country is facing right now. I understand that you have plans to cut those expenditures, and I believe you spoke to that a little bit earlier before. But specifically, how do you plan on tackling this?
Not just Nigeria that spends more than it earns. A lot of other countries do the same thing.
Okay.
A lot of other countries are borrowing.
Right.
United States today owes about 80% of its GDP in debt. So everybody's borrowing.
Right.
Everybody's spending more.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong in borrowing. It is what you do with the borrowing that makes the difference. If you borrow for investment, you will grow. The problem we have today is that we're borrowing for consumption.
Yeah.
So I want to borrow for investment. And we're going to do that. Yes, and we're going to cut the cost of governance.
Okay.
Would there be any specific plans for specific youth operations that you might have?
I just told you, ICT, entertainment, sports, small businesses.
Okay, those different industries.
That's what drives everyone. If you shut it down in America, there will be more criminality in America than there is in America. They'll be shooting shot on the street because they have more guns there on the street than we have. I can assure you. So the youths have energy and you need to put them to work. So we want to create a society where people will jump to the plane and come and celebrate.